This is Unit 5, Section 5.2, Multiplying and Dividing Polynomials. So previously we worked on adding and subtracting, which is combining like terms, making sure for subtracting we distribute that negative through to the second polynomial. And we also looked at classifying by degree and by number of terms. Today we're going to work on multiplying and dividing polynomials, where multiplying is a review, and then polynomial dividing is going to be something maybe we haven't done before. So first, to look at our multiplying, when we are multiplying a polynomial by a monomial, so now I have one term and being multiplied by something that has more than one term, more than one term, one term, more than one term, and so on. We're going to distribute every term outside of the parentheses to every term inside the parentheses using multiplication. This is distributing. So when we multiply, we do 5x times 2x, which is 10, and this is where our exponent rules come from last unit. X times x is x squared, plus 5x times 3, 5 times 3 is 15, and x leaves it by itself. So this can't be combined further, so this is my simplified answer. This would be a quadratic binomial, because it's quadratic, highest power is 2 terms, binomial. On number 2, we distribute in. Negative 2b times 5b squared gets me negative 10, b to the third, because now I have 1, 2, 3 b's being multiplied. Distribute to the next one. Negative positive is a negative 2. 1, 2 b's would be b squared being multiplied. And then the last one, negative 2 times a positive 6 is a negative 12. And the b doesn't get combined with anything else. We're in standard form, decreasing order. This would be a cubic trinomial. 3 terms, highest power is 3. On number 3, distribute in. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. 1, 2, 3 x's being multiplied to make it x cubed. Distribute here, 5 times 4, we get a positive 20. X squared times y can't be combined, so we just bring that down. This would be considered our final answer because we can't combine anything with a y when we have x's here. Distribute on number 4, so we get 4 times 5 is 20. The x comes down, it can't combine with anything, but then I have y to the second, so 1, 2, with y to the fourth, making that a total of 6 y's being multiplied. Distribute to the next term. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. Can't combine, so I'll bring down the x squared and the y squared. And our last term, 4 times 2 is 8, and y squared times y makes that 3 y's being multiplied. And this would be our simplified distributed answer. And on 5, the last one, we distribute. So 7 times 3 is 21. A times a, that's going to be 2 a's being multiplied together. And b squared comes down, nothing to increase it. 7 times negative 8 is negative 56. A times a is 2 a's being multiplied together. And the b comes down. And one more to the end. Anything times 1 is just going to be subtracting itself, because it was negative 1. So as we're distributing in, we're still following the rules of exponents that we learned from last unit, but we're distributing those into maybe multiple pieces as far as 1, 2, 3, a trinomial here, or further if I had a polynomial, or smaller if I had a constant. Dividing polynomials is going to be similar. We're going to divide every term by the numerator that's in the numerator by the monomial in the denominator. So I'm going to rewrite this as 4x squared divided by x, bring down the sign in between, and then divide by x again with the second term. And now I'm going to look at specifically just these pieces where I want to see what is this guy. That didn't work the way I wanted it to. So when I have that, I'm going to look at 4x squared divided by x. Well, I can subtract those exponents. 2 minus 1 is 1, leaving me with 4x. This was over x. I think I undid something. And 7x, 1 minus 1 is 0, leaving me with minus 7. So my answer here will be 4x minus 7. On number 2, I want to set up the division so I can look at each term, minus, put the 15y over the 5y cubed as well. 25 divided by 5 is 5. And then I have y squared and y to the third, so that would be y to the negative 1. Minus 15 divided by 5 is 3. And y1 minus y3, so I have 1 minus 3 would be negative 2. Just like last unit, we don't want to leave this as negative exponents. So I'm going to move it, and the power becomes positive. Move it, power becomes positive, giving me this as my answer. This is no longer a polynomial because now we're dividing by a variable. But we did have originally polynomial divided by polynomial. On number 3, we're going to break this up, all 3 parts, divided by 6a squared. Okay, so simplifying here, we have 12 divided by 6 is 2. 4 minus 2 for my exponents, a squared. Minus 2 over 6 is 1/3. 3 minus 2 for my exponents is a to the first. Plus, here I would have 1 over 6, doesn't simplify. And a squared over itself cancels to 1. So here would be my quadratic 1, 2, 3 trinomial here. And on number 4, split those two terms. So I have 6ab squared divided by a squared times b minus 2a squared times b divided by a squared times b. So the 6 can't do anything with, and then I have 1 minus 2, which is a to the negative 1. 2 minus 1 would just be b, minus 2 divided by 1 is 2. A squared divided by itself divides to 1 and cancels. B divided by itself divides to 1 and cancels, leaving me with 2. I don't want to leave this as the negative exponent, so I will move it to the denominator with a positive minus 2. And I don't want that to look like a number, that's a. Giving me my solution here after my division. And our last one, this is still a trinomial. It has 1, 2, 3 terms being added together. And I can break this apart and divide by the denominator. And then I have my second term divided by that same denominator. And my third piece. And then I look at each piece individually. Negative 16 divided by 4 is negative 4. A squared will divide evenly with itself. And 5 minus 3 leaves me 2 b's being multiplied. Plus 12 divided by 4 is 3. 3 minus 2 is a to the 1. 4 minus 3 is b to the 1. And I don't have to write that 1 exponent, but it's not wrong if you do. Plus 4 divided by itself divides evenly. 6 minus 2, I get a to the 4th. And b divided by b to the 3rd divided by b to the 3rd cancels out as well, leaving me with this polynomial. So our practice today is distributing again and reviewing our exponent properties, as well as dividing and reviewing those exponent properties as well. But now instead of working with one term, we're working with multiple terms, distributing across for multiplication and dividing each one on the division. Let me know if you have any questions on the practice, and I hope you have a good day.